All right. So today, what we're going to discuss here in PCNSA Palo Alto Network Certified Network Security Administrator class. In today's class, we're going to discuss about the Palo Alto operating, platform core requirements, and we'll move further to see what are the features that it supports, and basically uh, the models of the Palo Alto, as well as how the Palo Alto basically process the packet, where how what is basically SP3, and moving further, we will also discuss about the you know how to configure the Palo Alto and different commands. So as you see here, the Palo Alto network security operating platform core requirements. In this basically core requirements, as you see, the Palo Alto network security operating platform, the component, if we talk about of the Palo Alto itself, what all the component means, what all it does, right? Where all it fits in. So as you see here, network security. So Palo Alto can be used to in our network to protect our IP, TCP/IP traffic. So that is what it is called, network security. So you can deploy the Palo Alto in your network, where it will enhance the security by looking at the TCP/IP packet. Advanced endpoint protection. So advanced endpoint protection is something where not only the network traffic, but if we have end devices across the network, for example this PC. So Palo Alto is also going to you know uh, make sure that this PC should not be compromised. So how it is possible? Advanced endpoint protection, what traffic it is carrying through, what attachment it is coming to this machine. Is there any malicious traffic? Is there any malware traffic? Is there any threat? So if Palo Alto basically detects it, it is going to drop here itself. It won't let that kind of traffic get in to the PC. This is what basically.
But will that also not come under protecting TCP/IP traffic, because traffic coming to a PC, I mean whatever the firewall is protecting the LAN as a whole. If you break it down, it is a PC basically.
So
Basically,
basically,
combination of multiple
it
LAN
is
networks.
it is all about the analyzing the traffic, right? So when I
Yeah.
say the TCP/IP, so it will check from the network level, means what subnet is allowed, what subnet is not allowed, what IP is allowed, what IP is not allowed,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
At the same time, by looking at the deep of the IP header, by looking at the different like HTTP traffic, by looking at the email traffic signatures, it also supports endpoints protection. There is a difference when you say the network security means what network is allowed to get in, what network is allowed to get out, right? That's what it is called. What subnet is allowed. So that comes under the network security. Advanced endpoint protection, I understand. For example, the PC has got 1.1.1.1.1 IP, right? Now in Palo Alto 1.1 is allowed. Okay, fine. But Palo Alto is also going to make sure, even though 1.1 is allowed, right? The traffic which is coming to particular this PC, it should not contain any malicious, it should not contain any threat, it should not contain any malware, right? By
Got it,
looking
sir.
at email, attachments.
Got it, sir.
Yeah. And then we have cloud security. So if we talk about like software as a service, SaaS, if we talk about the platform as a service, so Palo Alto is also used in cloud to enhance the security. So even though, for example, if you have like AWS and you are subscribing some storage or services which is there in the cloud, right? So these providers basically, they also ensure that the data what you are storing, the services what you are using is protected, right? So that is where they will deploy the Palo Alto, where it will also be used not only the enterprise, but also it will be deployed in the cloud. So what I'm trying to say here is the Palo Alto can also be deployed in the cloud to enhance the security. Cloud delivered security services. What does that mean? What all services, right, that cloud delivers, and that to the security services. For example, encryption, what encryption algorithm that we are using to encrypt our packet, right? Hashing algorithm, right? Authentication. So what all services in terms of like TLS security, right?
Okay.
Uh, SSL security. So all that what all security services which is provided delivered by the cloud is also supported by the Palo Alto. Application framework and logging services. Application framework and logging services, it basically it comes under how you're going to troubleshoot it, how you're going to for audit purpose, and also how you're going to audit it. Apart from that, Palo Alto network apps, third-party apps, and customer app applications also it supports. So it can be integrated for with the third-party applications as well, right? Customer applications, if we are using some customer application, let's say FNA application, so that application can also be integrated with the Palo Alto. For example, like Active Directory.
Okay. I mean, like for user identity and authentication authorization.
Yeah, right. Uh, the next, what we're going to discuss about the architecture. So if you remember, this is something where we spent enough time in the last session as well,
Yes, sir. I
right?
actually lost it, so that's the reason I asked you.
Okay, okay. So what does this mean? Like single pass parallel processing. We talk about like this switching. So in initial class, what we discussed basically is Palo Alto is also called SP3. I mean, it works on SP3 architecture, single pass, where you are saying this single pass software and the parallel processing hardware. So what does the single pass means? Single pass means here, if any traffic comes to the Palo Alto, since we have different engines in the Palo Alto, we have policy engine, we have networking, and under that we have uh, to analyze the application ID related to traffic, to analyze the user identity traffic or content ID, right? So Palo Alto is very vast in terms of processing it, right? So it basically examines all the way that traffic. So when particular packet enters the Palo Alto, right? What happens? Single pass software means this, since this packet has to be fully examined before sending it. Palo Alto wants to make sure that this particular packet doesn't have any, harm. It cannot harm any end user, or it is not carrying any threats. It is not carrying any malicious traffic, on etc. Right? So for that, what Palo Alto does, it basically it basically goes to the multiple checks. For example, application ID. So it checks with the application ID, what application you're using, right? It'll match the signature and all that. If that signature is matching, then okay, fine. This is not a malicious traffic. I mean, user ID. Okay, fine. Particular this, what traffic it is coming from, which user it is coming from. Do I have knowledge about that user or not? Right? So they check for the user ID, and then what content it is carrying basically, right? So it'll, you know, if it is encrypted, it will decrypt it and then examine the traffic, examine the content, what basically content it is carrying through. So here in single pass, first what happened, packet enter, application was examined, then traffic was forwarded to user ID. Here user ID was checked and then the same traffic was forwarded to the content where it checks the content and all that. Apart from that, it checks the networking. Do I know where I have to forward the packet and all that? For all policy that I have, we have configured. Apart from that, it is also checked. So, for example, traffic enters. It consumes here. Let's say it takes some 1 second here to get it processed. 1 second here to get it processed, and 1 second here to get it processed. Total, the delay which got added is 3 seconds in single
Yes.
pass software. Right. What now the parallel processing hardware is, the Palo Alto has been designed basically when the traffic comes, right? What it will do is basically for the same image of the traffic will be sent to the content, same image of the traffic will be sent to the security check and the networking check and all that. So parallel, it's not like one by one, parallelly, right? So in 1 second, the image of the copy was sent here and here and here. Within 1 second itself, the Palo Alto does its job, analyze the packet, and then forwards it. So basically, what is the advantage of the parallel processing? It is faster because multiple things, multiple processes being, multiple, you can say the activities within the Palo Alto is being done or is being processed parallelly, not one by.
Got
So this is what it is. Uh, Parallel processing, single pass parallel processing. Okay. This management and data planes, basically, it is like how we are managing the Palo Alto, right? So how we are using it, how we are accessing it. So basically there are three planes. If you remember, we have discussed in any device, not only this Palo Alto, but any device, there are three planes. We have control plane. In this control plane, we have management. This control plane basically, let's say this is Palo Alto itself. This is complete Palo Alto. These are interfaces. This Palo Alto will be divided like this. This is control plane. In control plane, basically, what you're going to do is you're going to learn all the information, right? So control plane basically it stores all the data, all information. It keeps it in control plane. It will have the dedicated CPU, RAM, and storage. So when we say what it stores, basically, what it contains, basically, nothing but, for example, like policies. Where will you configure policies? You will configure in the control. Protocols, like routing, protocols. Where you will configure? You will configure in control. With the help of that protocol, it will learn all the prefixes, which interface it has to go out, which interface it has to come in, all that.
Just 1 second, I'll stop you. Your voice is sometimes going low and sometimes going in. Maybe because of your headphones, you have to do it in distance or something.
No, I don't think so.
You're not using headphones, is it?
Yeah, this is headphone itself.
Sometimes it is low. It's like when you take your headphones away, the voice goes low. It's like that. So,
Oh,
if
okay.
possible, can you check that?
How about now?
Now it's okay. Like when you keep on talking, sometimes a few words go slow on the voice. It's not disconnecting. We are not experiencing any lag, but the voice is slow sometimes.
Okay, I got it. Right, and the next one is the data plane. So did you get that control plane? Now,
Yeah, it's about how we manage the traffic. The configuration policies and routing and stuff, everything will be stored over there.
Right.
It has a dedicated CPU, RAM, and storage.
Now, coming to the data plane here, data plane comes basically in a picture when the actual traffic comes, right? So as of now, in control plane, what has been done? The things have been kept ready, whether it is policies, whether it is layer 3 information, right? Management policies and all that. Now, when the traffic comes, actual traffic comes, then the data plane will come in a picture. So that because that traffic basically has to go through multiple, security checkings. For example, it will match the signature, right? It will check virus, spyware. It'll check the security processing also. For example, application user ID, URL match, policy match, and all that. Whether that, so for example, let's say traffic comes. So it will come first networking, right? So it will check, okay, do I know where to forward that? For example, let's say traffic is coming from 1.1 and it has to go to 1.2, or let's say 2.2. 2.1 is the destination. 10.1.1.1 and 10.1.2.1. These are different subnets. So when traffic comes in control plane, it will check, do I know where is the destination 2.0 network? Okay, they'll check, okay, I know, yes, 2.0 network is out of this interface. If I send that packet out of this interface, it will reach, I will reach 2.0 network. Okay, so that it will download it here. Then let me, Palo Alto will say, okay, let me go through this packet first. Let me check whether it is a genuine packet. It will match the signature. It will scan the virus, spyware, and all that. It will check what application we are using, a user ID, right? URL match, policy match, as in whether you are allowed or not. All that SSL decompression, application decoding, all that will be done here. Network processing, as I told you, if it is like I have to use, if NAT is being used there, MAC address lookup, source MAC destination MAC, route lookup, source IP destination IP, so all these things will be done in the data plane. But from where this all information, let's say this all information, from where it will get it from control plane. It will download all that information. So for example, let's say route lookup, this Palo Alto doesn't know how to forward the packet to 2.0. So ultimately packet will be dropped, right? MAC lookup, if it doesn't know what is the destination MAC in case of the LAN, isn't it? Policy match, okay, fine. Palo Alto knows that how to forward it to 2.0 network. But what if policy says that no, 1.1 cannot communicate to 2.1? Policy says when 1.1 comes and wants to go to 2.1, drop it. So that is where the policy will come in a picture. So all
Yeah.
these things done in this basically management and data planes. Well, these are the Palo Alto models. I believe this is quite
So this one I think we can skip. I think this is just about how much throughput it's giving. I'll go through offline. We can move on. But next to this, we have just discussed about committing the how to save the Palo Alto configuration.
correct.
You were just explaining about the tabs that it possesses, the user interface. Basically. Yeah, flow logic and then user interface. Yeah, we can start from here.
All right. All right. So now here, what is the flow logic basically? Whenever the packet comes, let's say initial packet processing, what they check is the zones. What zone to what zone it is, whether it is allowed or not. So zones are basically created in Palo Alto. Trust zone and trust zone. There is no concept of security level here. It's like Cisco firewall. So zones are created, whether the zone is allowed or not. That check will happen first. Policy based forwarding, forwarding lookup. Okay, this is coming from the source zone, then or the source address or user ID. Then policy based forwarding, forwarding lookup will happen. It will check, okay, this is the destination zone that wants to go. NAT policy, it will check what source IP, destination IP I have to. So once all these things are checked, right? Security pre-policy. In the security pre-policy, check allowed ports. That port it is coming with, uh, allowed or not, or port which is going to, allowed or not, or did it come before the same packet? Did it come before? Do I have any session created for it? If I have a session created already, maybe this is the not first time communication. This is the, you know, I mean, before itself the communication had happened. There would be a session. So if there is a session, it will skip all that and go for the packet forwarding directly. But
Okay.
if it is a new packet, altogether new packet, then it will create a session here. Once session creates, then we'll check the applications. Applications like check for encrypted traffic. Encrypted traffic as in the traffic, is it encrypted? If it is encrypted traffic, what is the decryption policy? Do I have configured decryption policy? Is Palo Alto authorized to decrypt it or not? So if it is allowed to decrypt it, it will decrypt it, right? Application override policies. If any application related policies are configured, application ID. Security policy, check security policy whether it is allowed or not, right? What policy?
Basically, ACL here
Yes.
in terms of this.
And then check security profile. If you have decrypted the traffic to analyze it, then re-encrypt the traffic. This is post policy processing. NAT policy applied, and finally packet will be forwarded. So that's the basically flow of logic that we have here.
So last time I remember you saying like ASA doesn't have something like security level 0 to 100 allowed, 100% denied. So here
Correct.
it's not like that. So
We don't
only
have.
if we deny or allow whatever it is from untrust zone to trust zone or trust zone to untrust zone, by default it is allowed. We have to deny if we want to, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what the flow is. Describe the zero trust security model. Zero trust security model, as you see here, by looking at the picture itself, this is your enterprise network. This is your Palo Alto. That is going to the internet. This is going to your enterprise, which is called inside. Could be here servers, could be your end devices. We have DMZ also created. These are the zones that you can create it. You can rename it. You can name it as according as per your time convenient. Right. So as I told you, what traffic it is coming. This is all together. Uh, uh, this is altogether dependent on what policy you have configured in the Palo Alto. Say Palo Alto says that yes, it is allowed, so traffic will be allowed.
So zero trust security model basically means only if we are allowing something or denying something specifically, unless and until we do that.
By default, the traffic from one zone to another zone, so one basically one zone to another zone is denied.
Any zone from inside to outside or outside to inside,
Anyway,
anything is denied.
yes,
Okay.
right. Unless and
So
until
just like that, if we
specifically
deploy a
state.
Palo Alto having inside and outside, I mean, LAN and internet and DMZ, we can't ping anywhere from anywhere.
Correct.
Just by
Un-
not just by deploying it without
unless and
configuring
until,
anything.
yes, unless and until it is specified, right?
Okay.
So threat prevention, URL filtering. Now you see here global protection framework, autofocus or application ID. These basically are all supported in the Palo Alto. Or you can say these are the different types of
So we'll
services.
see all this in labbing, right? Including URL filtering, application ID.
Yes, yes, yes. The next one is identify stages in the cyber attack life cycle and firewall mitigations that can prevent them. So when we say cyber attack life cycle, how does basically it happen? So unauthorized access, whenever in order to basically attack, right? You have to have unauthorized access first. And in order to have an unauthorized access, you become someone as in familiar, say reconnaissance, right? Once you become, let's say, source using the rogue traffic or maybe source, source guard by hiding the identity or something like that. Weaponization and delivery, you will prepare for the attack in terms of, let's say, we send an email, and in that email you have attachment, uh, a kind of a thread, right? And send it to the destination. Once the destination receives it, now what will happen is this basically machine is being compromised. Maybe there are backdoor applications which got installed. Now this is kind of in control, right? So once
Okay.
installation happens, you can have a command and control of this machine, what you're sending, who to whom you're sending, and capture all the packet action on the objectives. Each and every copy what you are sending to the network, the copy of the image of the copy, your traffic will be sent to somewhere else in particular global server or the objective server anywhere,
Okay.
right? So this is basically the cyber attack life cycle. I mean, if I want to, let's say, harm a particular network, what I'll do, I'll gather all the information, right? I will make myself as an identity so that I can enter to the network, right? Once I know that, okay, I can enter to the network, I will create some sort of, you know, uh, some sort of, let's say, threat. I know that now I can, go through this. So I'll create some sort of threat, right? I'll let that thread get installed. Once it gets installed, I'll check the activities, whether it is working or not, and then I'll execute it. I'll gather all the information what you are dealing with.
So this is in the form of attacker's perspective. So he is attacking the user's PC and he is gathering all the data that is being sent or passed, thinking that it's a trusted destination. We are sending the traffic. He is capturing. So how was Palo Alto interfering and protecting it in Palo Alto's perspective?
So if you remember now the flow logic what we have discussed,
Okay.
right? Palo Alto is going to stop before itself. It will check the network, what network it is coming from, what application, what signature it is coming from, is it a genuine user or not? All that those checks will be done.
Okay. Okay, got it.
This is what we have discussed already. We have discussed this part also. We have also discussed about the firewall dashboard. Service routers. Okay, so this is what we have also discussed. Data plane memory, how does it get saved? We have to perform the commit and all that. Updates, identify and schedule dynamic updates. Now, if I open another, you know, just red zones, cyber attack life cycle. This is what we have discussed. If you see here, reconnaissance during the first stage of attack life cycle, cyber advisories carefully plan their method of attack. Attackers research, identify, and select targets within an organization, such as human resources and financial personnel, etc. Right. So prevent by performing continuous inspection of network traffic flows to detect and prevent port scans and host sweeps, implementing like security awareness, weaponization and delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control. So it is what Palo Alto does: block outbound, C2 communication, actions and objectives using target intelligence tools to proactively hunt for indicators of compromise, the network. All right. So identify and configure. All right. This is what we have discussed. Interface management profile, dashboard, service router. Hmm. These services like configuring DNS, configuring NTP, and all that will do the lab. We'll see how to do this basically. How to manage firewall configuration. So this is something we have just seen already. Commit, save configuration, running config, and all that. What is candidate configuration? What is running configuration? So in this you will see all that. Identify and schedule dynamic updates. So what does that basically dynamic updates means? To ensure that you are always protected from the latest threats. Right? If, for example, if the Palo Alto is only known for the few threats, and if these threats can be created immediately, or the hackers, attackers, what they do, they create the threats, right? So for example, what so someone attacked. So there was threat incident happened, let's say in China, for example, right? Now, if in India, if that Palo Alto is not updated, so the same threat, if it is happening in India, Palo Alto cannot detect it, cannot prevent it because it is not updated with that threat. So this is what dynamic update means. The Palo Alto can also be configured to update the, or to dynamically update all the, latest threats, updates. You must keep your firewall up to date with the latest content and software updates published by Palo Alto Network. So this is what basically the dynamic update is, right? So in this dynamic update, as you see, you must create an you know your own schedule, global protect services, Palo Alto, Wildfire Cloud, URL filtering, AV signatures. These are the different updates that you will have. Applications, threat prevention applications. These are the different updates that you will have, and you might have to. You configure how frequently the firewall checks for available updates. The firewall can check for antivirus updates every hour, right? So applications and threats every 30 minutes, wildfire every 1 minute. This is the best practice. So what this means is that the Palo Alto basically keeps on checking the latest update and to be updated. The
Okay.
following content updates are available depending on which subscription you have. So these are the subscription. What does that subscription means? The Palo Alto is the what license you have and all that. Antivirus applications and thread, global protect data file, global protect clientless VPN, update Palo Alto networks, URL filtering, update, bright cloud URL filtering, wildfire.
What is wildfire here?
It is basically subscription. This update provides near real-time malware and antivirus signatures, right? So
Meaning,
this is wildfire. Basically, it is cloud service. Basically, the name of that service is called wildfire.
what it does. I mean,
It basically matches the signature, the real-time malware and antivirus signatures created. So, for example, if someone new has created a new signature, wildfire is going to detect it. So it matches the signature. It matches the malware traffic, antivirus signatures. So wildfire, it analyzes all those malware traffic, antivirus signatures, right?
yeah.
Downloading and installing updates. So downloading and installing updates, as I told you, you can configure it. We'll see basically how to do this. We'll also talk about the lab. Software updates. Pan OS updates are managed device software action of web interface. That's okay. It's the same. You have to. So for example, in this picture, what you're seeing here is this is a new update that you have. It Palo Alto has seen and action install. So since it has got the new update, when you install that update will be installed. So you have to keep on also checking, or maybe auto install also you can configure.
This is a update that Palo Alto provides. I mean,
Palo
uh,
also gets, yeah, Palo Alto network provides this.
the sort of iOS update that we are doing
Not
in
I
iOS,
not iOS update.
in a patch upgrade. In the
Yeah, I mean it could be patch upgrade.
for
And
that version, is if there is any advanced concept or something that has been introduced, it will be available. If it is available, then it will be shown up here. In that way.
yeah, So basically your Palo Alto will also be connected to the internet. Once you have configured, okay, Palo Alto, whenever there is a new update in the market anywhere,
Okay.
right, in internet about the new antivirus threat, right, you upload that update. I will review it and install that update. So whenever now next time someone is using the same threads, if they are trying to attack Palo Alto or through the network, or if they are trying to penetrate it, Palo Alto is since aware of that update, that thread.
Okay.
Okay, this basically talks about the configure internal and external services for account administration. Now there are some administrations. Let me go back to the machine. Where is this? So, okay, configure internal and external services for account administration. The two role types are admin role, profile roles, and dynamic roles. Right. So there are two types of basically profiles. One is admin role and dynamic role. What is administrative role type? These are custom roles you can configure for more granular access control over the functional areas of the web interface, CLI and XML API. What does that mean? Means administrative role is kind of a main control that you have in Palo
Sort
Alto.
of
Full,
customizing how we can control the CLI GUI
correct,
web access or something.
correct. Dynamic role, these are built-in or predefined roles that provide access to firewall the following, right? So as you said, yes, it is basically kind of a customized and this is the fixed, predefined. Now, the
Okay.
following list identifies the access privilege associated with dynamic roles. Supervised user means full control, right?
Okay.
Full control. Super user again, but read only.
Okay.
Virtual system administrator, full control. And virtual system administrator, read only. Device administrator, full control, and device administrator, read only.
What is the difference if, between super user and virtual system administrator and device? I mean, all has full control as far as what you
So
said.
virtual administrator whenever you have virtual firewall or something. So let's go through this and just to understand.
Okay.
Admin role profiles roles, that's fine. Dynamic roles. Super user full access to the firewall including defining new administrator accounts and virtual systems. You must have super user privilege to create an administrative user with super user privileges. Super user read only access to the firewall. So means this is something whenever you want to configure, you want to create another account or something, you should have the super user. Virtual system admin full access to the selected virtual system on the firewall. This will come in a picture when you have virtual systems. Full access and read only. If it is hardware, then device admin full access to the firewall settings except for defining new accounts or virtual settings.
Same as super user, but he can create user from
Correct,
anywhere
new
separate.
accounts. Device administrator read only. Read only access to the firewall settings. So here what you should think of. Full access means to the firewall. It means you can create a new user here, new administrator account and virtual systems. You must have super user privilege to create an administrative user with the super user. For example, I want to create an admin account. I have created, right? I have created one more. I want to create one more admin account and to give it to a particular user so that they can access the firewall. So I should be the part of super user.
Got it, sir.
So this is also something we'll see.
So we will see all this, how to define a super user and everything.
Yeah. Yep, we'll see that. All right. So given this is something we will continue tomorrow. Given a network diagram, create the appropriate security zones. So from here, we'll continue tomorrow. We'll see the lab also if it's possible. We'll see. So, yep, that's it for today.